Is it Cofield Radio or?
All right, here we go. It's the late night happy hour, the late night pod. It's at Cofield and Co on Twitter, at Steve Cofield, at dr_Croft.
Yeah.
At Plus Money Honey. So Alex and Allie and Cofield on a Tuesday. I'm going to throw a little motivation your way. Do not get insulted because everyone has their favorites. But we actually, when I was introducing or giving everyone a heads up that you guys were going to be on tonight, some smartass in the chat was like, "Oh, the C Crew." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "This is a good crew we have coming up on Tuesday."
Technically, we're the A crew because we're Allie and Alex. So just saying.
There you go. It's not a bunch of bitter. It's not a bunch of bitter clunts on tonight like every other night. We got some rays of sunshine. Although we will start out by complaining early on. Allie is still having lingering issues from the clump that she dropped her boyfriend because now she's claiming that somehow he effed with the temperature setting in your house and you're freezing.
So it was like a series of things, right? I checked my money box, money's gone. Okay. Then I'm laying on my couch, ticked off about my money being gone. And I noticed that he wrote profanities about me on my wall. Now, then, yeah, in a black Sharpie at my child's eye level. It's been painted over. But one other thing I noticed on that day was that my AC was like turned down to 70 and all the windows were open. And I was like, what the balls is this? Like run up my electric? Well, now I can't turn my heater on. So I think that in that time, he may have jacked with something that has now made it impossible for me to heat my house. So I'm freezing and I'm layered in Las Vegas. That's what I'm doing.
That's messed up. Like that's bad.
Yeah. This is a 56-year-old dude. Like this isn't this is like a grown ass man. Yeah. And I'm like a 40-year-old single mom. And like this is all over like a phantom butt grab at a bar that never happened after 2.5 years. I mean, it's ridiculous. I need a drink.
Holy hell. I mean, scrawling things.
A lot there, right?
Yeah.
A lot to unpack. Alex, turn yourself up a little bit more.
Sorry. Am I low? Am I low?
Yeah, you're a little bit low. I did, and I mentioned I did investigate the hashtag #MeToo moment of someone grabbing Allie's ass, and the person vehemently denies it. Now there may have been like a brush or a caress or a bump,
but
the person,
something.
Yeah, the person is also when they get drunk, they're like really drunk, and they have no control of their extremities. So I trust him, and Allie says no. So.
Yeah, this is someone I've known for 8 years. You know, it wasn't like some rando. He like walked over to tell me something and put his arm. I'm sitting in a bar stool. Like, how can you grab my ass if I'm sitting ass down? You know, just saying. I don't know. It was stupid. It's over. No, he was not a sugar daddy. Not one bit.
Right.
God.
What?
That was definitive.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
Start explaining his bankroll.
Well, trust me. You know how many different jobs that I work. So no, I work my balls off.
Right. So he broke up with you because your butt was allegedly grabbed.
Yes. Yes. Well, if you guys remember in the beginning, I was saying we were like kind of on our way outs and then COVID hit and we kind of were making it work. And it was cool for a while. And then every time my kid would stay the night at someone's house, he would pick some fight with me. And it's like, I get one night a month to fuck and you want to fight? Like, are you crazy right now? So we had the talk. And then when we went out, I had paid the tab, I had paid for the Uber. And then like, as we're waiting for this Uber, the incident occurred. And so it was like, we were this close to fucking, but now we're fighting. So we literally, after that night, we got home from the Uber. I said, dude, that's not. And he goes, I never want to talk about it again. Slammed the door. And we have not spoken a word to each other since, except for when he said, I'm moving out. And I said, cool. And that was it.
I mean, it sounds like a blessing. Sounds like a blessing in disguise, right? Like if you're not fucking, if you're not getting money, you're not getting the F's, fuck, finance, food. I don't know the other F's. Like it sounds like a blessing in disguise.
free beer. He did buy me a lot of beer. I'll give him that. He did
It's a sugar daddy. It's a sugar daddy of sorts.
Yeah, whatever. No, but it's fine. It's over, but it's lingering. I would like to be over it, but I'm freezing. And so I must still curse his name.
I mean, let's be honest too. I know the holidays are coming up. This is about the time. If you're not getting along, you probably need to split, because there's a good chance we're going into another lockdown here for the next couple of months. And that is the truest test of a relationship. If you got to be around someone all the time, man, that ain't easy. We saw an incredible jump in divorce rate and breakups the last time around. This is a true test of your relationship. Let's do it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And your patience as a parent. That's another thing.
Let's see. Does creepy Eli listener know that Allie is single? That could be bad. Nah, doesn't have really.
I have had some dudes coming out of the woodworks, though. I will say that, man. Once the announcement came, yeah, no shortage of free beers over here.
I'll admit, I gave out your number to a few guys.
Oh, stop.
No, I didn't. No. Without your permission.
I am so not ready for that. Like, the last thing I need is another dude.
A lot of listeners with nicknames or like Ken, 9246838 on Twitter. I'm just like, fuck it. Here's your number. So
why not? Why not?
You'll be getting some calls. You gotta play the field. Come on.
Living into my like, I don't get enough dick pics on Facebook already. Like, seriously.
Oh, you get dick pics on Facebook?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, everyone does. All my girlfriends do.
I feel like a Facebook dick pic is a low-level dick pic. Like, I think an Instagram and a Twitter dick pic, you're probably working with higher quality, but a Facebook dick pic's got to be. That's got to be lower quality dick pic.
I don't Instagram, and I'm not that popular on Twitter, so maybe that's my problem. Now I feel like I'm not on my game now that I'm not getting Twitter dick pics. Like, what am I doing wrong, Alex? Shit.
I mean, not that I'm sending dick pics on any of these platforms, so don't ask me for advice, but I would just say that if I were going to send a dick pic, it would not be on Facebook.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, Alex, as we try to introduce everyone on the show a lot more than we have in the past, I feel bad. I'm finding out more about all the different hosts. Like the other day on air, I've been working around Von Tobel, who's on, here on a regular basis, and he started talking about his sisters, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? I didn't say fuck because we're on live radio, but I was like, wait, you have sisters? Like, I've known the guy for like 7 years. So now I'm like, I really feel bad. He's like, yeah, I have 4 sisters. I'm like, oh my God, we never talk. So this is a time to kind of nurture the relationships here. We want to find out more about Alex. Okay, first of all, we've never really delved into your background here. You've got 2 fans behind you. They're not on, but you are dressed like Nanook of the North, whoever that is.
It's cold.
It's the OC. What do you mean?
We dipped below 50 today, and I'm not used to it. It's the first time. The last couple of days have been the coldest that it's been in a minute. And then second of all, a little peek behind my personal curtain is I always do this from the garage. I'm out in the garage, so there's not insulation, and I don't have a heater out here. And during the summer, it was great. That's what the fans are for. They're not active right now, but I don't have a space heater. And I'll be honest, I put more effort into the background early on. In fact, all these posters behind me, Cofield, I started hanging those up when you said, "Hey, you want to come on the late night happy hour?" And I was like, you know what? I got to dial in my background. I want to impress these people. I had the Byron Leftwich already hanging, but I added the NWA, I added the map. But now I got so much random shit back here. I got this captain's wheel from a ship.
That's super cool.
This is sick. I got this on Craigslist. So that's some cool decor. We'll put that more in the shot. But yeah, I put effort into the background and I kind of let it slide. And I'm cold. I'm cold tonight, and I'm in shambles over here.
You're getting a lot of reaction that you're being kind of a puss. You went to school at Oregon State. I mean, it's got to be friggin' freezing there all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And Allie knows about how cold it actually gets hella cold up in Oregon. Rains a lot. That being said, it's not like a lifetime adjustment. Like, I'm not like, I lived in Oregon for 8 years, I'm good now. It's like, well, no, now I'm back in SoCal. I grew up in SoCal, and I was cold and miserable quite a bit when I lived in Oregon. which is why I chose to move back to a warm weather place.
I told you guys the story. That's exactly why I left. It's too damn cold in Oregon.
I'm with you. And I feel soft saying that because there's places like Buffalo or like, the East Coast. But it's cold in Oregon too. I mean, it's all cold and it's wet. It's so wet.
That's a drop. Brady's asking in all honesty, like I'm going to lie about it. We're going to hide something. How did I find Alex? Alex, how did I find you?
Craigslist, casual encounters.
Exactly.
In all honesty, no. I
was on a SoCal road trip.
I believe that. Like, I could see Cofield doing that.
I was on a SoCal road trip. We were on public transportation. He gave me a glance, kept staring, and then we kind of reached out to each other that way. No, he good, Alex.
No. I actually want to hear what you say.
I mean, this is not some like mysterious thing. Alex applied for a job. He applied for Ari's job. So I was like, hey, Alex is good. I've talked to him a bunch. I see what he's great with. His social media is really interesting. Like he's gone all political recently, but he does all these cool videos and he's a sports fan. So I was like, yeah, man, Alex is good. Get him on here. Let's stretch the show out a little bit. That's about as nice as I get right there.
No, I appreciate it.
Simple as that. I everyone who sends stuff to Lotus, at least with a connection to our show, I keep information. One, maybe there's something we do down the road, but two, I'm not a complete asshole. I guess I am because I'm maintaining relationships because I'm like, well, you know what? This guy might be a fast riser. Maybe he can help me in the future.
That's not a bad way to think about it.
The other thing, and I think I've said this before, when people apply for jobs, and like I don't have the final say at Lotus on who gets jobs. Like I have input, on our show, but I find it incredibly obnoxious in any industry, especially radio, where jobs are so hard to come by, and you get like 80 people for one producer position, and then you don't correspond with any of the people who applied outside of like your top two. Like that's fucking just mean. So when the last time around, it was really for Chrissy's job, like 4 years ago. We had like 75 applicants for the job. So I had probably a running list of like 25. There were a lot of hosts on there. So I kind of told them, I think you're more of a host straight up now. You don't want to be a producer, but I would exchange messages with them. So why not? I mean, that's, if anyone out there, when you're jobless, wouldn't you actually like the place you're applying to freaking have some contact with you to explain maybe why you're not getting the job instead of just blowing you off?
Well, and if you have that many apps, I mean, why not interview a couple and, like make notes on them for someone you could use later down the line too. I think that's important. There's a lot of people I didn't hire that day, but, maybe a few months later or whatever, you hit them up or you find something else that they'd be better at.
We had Alex on at least more than a few times on both of the shows I was doing back like 3 years ago. If we had like an Oregon related topic, like I don't know a ton of people in Oregon. So that's the other thing. Anyone who's looking for a job, they know their area better than I do. So I don't know. Was that a good answer?
Yeah, no, that is the correct answer. There's no juicy tidbit to that. But I would say, as someone who is on the applying end of jobs quite a bit myself, and I'm always trying to find a full-time gig in the radio world instead of piecemealing it together like I have been for the last few years, there are far and few people that reply or like I don't hear back. I don't hear back from most of them. And before we get too sappy here, I will say I always appreciated you, Cofield, for actually hitting me back, giving me advice, and just sort of updating me throughout the process and giving me feedback. Because really, I went to school for broadcasting or whatever, but you never get feedback that's going to prepare you for the job market, and it's only through people like you and a handful of other people at jobs I've applied for and didn't get that gave feedback on my reel, that gave feedback on my resume, that said you should do this, you need more reps like this, your show would sound better like this. That's where I learned the most. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree, because you've always mentored me and kept me in the loop. And I did the radio show for a while, and then you hit me up. I was on my way to Colorado one day. I remember getting the text, and you were like, hey, we're doing a pod. Check this out. Do you want to get on it? And you always help me out and tell me, like, do this better and don't do this and stop dropping F-bombs and things like that. So no, I totally appreciate you, and you do good work. I swear you never sleep. You're always working.
So Alex, take over. Where do you want to go? Because I want, we've been talking about you leading these shows, and then I don't shut the F up. But we got a bunch of stuff to get to. So go ahead.
I wanted to talk a lot of college football. Are you guys cool? Are you cool with that, Allie?
I'm cool with that, Alex.
Oh, there we go.
Cool
there
that.
we go. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Putting on the Oregon hat while I have my Oregon State sweatshirt, and I appreciate that. And I forgot about our built-in rivalry. Pac-12 football was back this weekend, and I think this ties. I really want to talk about two things: COVID and Pac-12 football. And Pac-12 couldn't even get 2 of their 6 games off the ground due to COVID cancellations. Meanwhile, we're talking about full-on lockdowns back on the West Coast. I'm doubtful about even getting a full Pac-12 season for any of the teams, even the ones in the COVID lax states like Utah. Utah had to cancel a game, and they have like some of the most lax COVID restrictions around. So, yeah, Pac-12 football's back. My Oregon State Beavers lost. I'm depressed, and the Oregon Ducks looked like one of 2 contenders that could come out of the Pac-12.
Yes, they did. And yes, you did. I mean, I'm excited about the Pac-12 this year. I'm real excited about Oregon and Washington State. But I agree. I don't know how excited I can get because how much of it are we going to get? So quack, quack, baby.
That's how I feel too, is like even before the Beavs lost or even after they lost, I'm still just like, man, does it really matter? Because a team that I thought was going to contend in the Pac-12, North Cal, I thought they were going to be a sleeper team this year. I really liked what they were bringing to the table. They might not get 2 games. They might not play game 1 until week 3. And so how can I even how could I get excited about a 4-game season? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, at that point, it's just for the kids to get out there a little bit, freshmen to get some experience, seniors to get a couple games, but I'll take what I can get for the time being. Like, I'm excited that it's back.
How does it work as far as like recruiting and drafts and redshirting, or like, how does that all work out? Like, if it's my senior year at Oregon and I only play 4 games, do I get a new senior year next year? Like, how does it work?
It's all, nobody gets this year counted against their eligibility. So whether you play all 7 or you're a freshman or you're a senior, you play 1 and you want to come, however it lays out, you can come back again.
Can you apply for the draft and then if you don't get drafted, come back?
What are the latest NFL rules on that?
I think in all leagues, you have to pull from the draft.
Okay.
You don't have the option of going back. So you have to pull from the draft at a certain date. You have a longer time, the NBA, you have no time because the NBA drafts next week. But yeah, there's already players pulling out of the draft. No, this year's cool because, especially for seniors, you can play this year. You know, you might play 6, 7, 8, 9 games, and you can still come back for another year if you want to. I know as an old person now, fuck man, if I got another free year of school, I'd be in school until I'm like 25. I would get every freaking next level degree, whatever. And even if I'm not playing, like I'm on the team, but I'm not getting playing time, live it up, dude. Or gal, whatever, in any sport you're playing, because it ain't easy out here. It's not easy at all. I wanted to ask about Oregon State. I actually wanted to ask the group in the chat room too. When you choose a school, right? Do you? And we have a lot of sports fans here. Did anyone or does anyone actually look? I guess it's did anyone because we don't have like 17-year-olds here. I don't think. Do people look at sports as like part of the experience and go, you know what? I don't know if I can go to that. Like, I don't know if I can go to Oregon State because their football program sucks. Or, my case, like I can't go to Rutgers because look at how bad they are. I wonder how many people factor that in, because I will tell you, I didn't do much research when I was looking around. My list of schools was Rutgers because it was an in-state. It was going to be cheaper. And then like schools that I recognize as good at sports. And I was like, that'd be kind of cool to go to that school. Like my list was literally like, I liked Maryland basketball and Len Bias when I was a kid. So I got into like Maryland, Florida State. For some reason, I was like, I'm kind of into like technology and math and science. So I'm going to apply to Florida Institute of Technology in Melbourne, Florida. And then I was like, I don't feel like spending any more money on applications. So I'm out. But I wonder, do people actually look at sports when they go? Do kids look at it as part of the experience?
So I knew that I didn't want to go to school on the East Coast because I don't like how late games start there. So that was definitely a factor for me. That I didn't want to go to an East Coast school.
No, that's what you want. The Pac-12 right now just pulled a fast one on its students. Now, the students can't go to the games anyway.
No, I mean, time-wise, I don't want to start watching a game at 9 p.m. That does not appeal. Like, I've been to the East Coast. I lived there in elementary school. Like, I don't know. That was a factor for me.
Fans allowed as an East Coast college football or college student for football games, you would be cool having to get up at like 9 a.m. to make a noon game. That's a living hell for a college student on a Saturday. Give me late night games. All I can drink all day.
No, I can't. I'm not talking about football right now because you know that I don't football. Okay, I'm talking about baseball and college basketball and games that start at
college baseball games at freaking 7 o'clock at night.
Why are you screaming at me right now? Am I not allowed to feel like I don't want to start watching a game at 9 p.m.? I watched the Final Four in Boston when Duke was playing Butler, I want to say. And yeah, it was Gordon Hayward. Anyway, and I hated it. I was exhausted. I was like so over it by 11 o'clock at night. I'm just saying, I don't want to go to watch. I still wouldn't move to the East Coast because I don't want to watch sports that late. I love rolling over in bed and clicking on my TV at 9 a.m.
I think what Allie is saying is more so just the general sports schedule, East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah.
I feel like you weren't talking about, I didn't want to go to school at Boston College because I didn't want to go to an 8 p.m. Boston College baseball game, which is just something that I don't think exists or anyone goes to if it does.
I think there might be some SEC and ACC programs, Miami included, that have night games, but I don't know. I don't think they're that commonplace, but and I forget that your favorite sport is baseball over all others. So
college basketball is my favorite.
Well, then I guess you're kind of SOL on college basketball though, because during the week they're going to start at night. They're going to like a 2 o'clock.
But I live on the West Coast, so I'm okay with that. Like that's okay. Oh, you mean they're going to start at like 9 p.m. Pacific time? They
are doing that. Actually, it's worse out here. Right, to get on TV, you have to wait all day long, and there are 9 o'clock local starts sometimes. The Mountain Time Zone bitches about that all the time.
Yeah, but that's COVID life, not like real life. So,
I've watched some Pac-12 hoops games that tip at 8:15 p.m.
I don't want to look more into this than we have to right now.
You know what? Okay. We take your answer. We take your answer.
This is semantics at this point.
Cofield, to answer your question.
Yeah, because the question really was for you because your football program blows. So we share that with our school.
Yeah, a couple things. I have a couple things. I thought about you this weekend as Oregon State kicked off. Hi. As Oregon State kicked off, I thought about you. And I thought, man, I feel like Cofield, like Rutgers and Oregon State in the football world are kindred spirits. And I saw that Rutgers, did they cover the spread? They were covering, right?
Dominant cover. Yes, dominant cover.
Yeah,
they lost by 22. They were getting 39.
Yeah, I saw that.
The victory in my book.
No, I saw that, and I thought about our conversation when the Dodgers won the World Series and the streets in L.A. were packed, and we were talking about, should we say shame on you because we knew we were going to see COVID spikes around that, which I believe we have. Cases are rising here in SoCal. Can't blame it all on the Dodgers, but we saw that. Or if you're a Dodgers fan, would you be out there? And I remember I asked you and I said, what if Rutgers won the college football playoff? And you said, I would die that night, whether it's from COVID or from just the celebration. And I said, without a doubt, I would die that night too. Like without a doubt, if Oregon State won the college football playoff, whether we were in the pandemic, whether it was from just drinking, whether it was from I would rage so hard because it would be such a, and I keep thinking about it, and then I was like, yes, I want
I'd
to
go,
be.
I'd go on such a drug binge. Like it would start with heroin, then there'd be cocaine. Then eventually on like night 4, it would be the whatever that fucking fake weed shit is. What is
spice?
Everyone
whatever.
knows.
I don't know, man. What was it? Robert Kimdichi? Was he the guy at I think Ole Miss? And he just like walked out a second floor window. He was just so fucking whacked on like fake weed, or I don't know what it was. And Chandler Jones had the same kind of experience. Like that would be like night 3 or 4 of the experience. I'd be like, I hope I live. I don't know.
I think I'd get shot. Like I think I'd get. I think if the Beavs won, like I would be like burning the town down, and the police would shoot me.
Well, you got a shot. They're not going to look to beat you initially, but eventually they would.
Yeah. No, I mean, being white, I get the benefit of the doubt at first glance by the cops, but
By the way, I love how the chat room like immediately got all fired up and active. Like, what fake drug?
That's what I thought was salvia.
Cofield,
Anyway.
to answer your question though, I wanted to go to a school. I did give consideration to a school that had like Division I football. Like I wanted to go to a school where I could go Saturdays, college football, and Oregon State, yes, was a down program, but I actually grew up an Oregon State fan. My dad went to OSU, so I was sort of in my DNA. But I knew I wanted to go to a school that had like power, like D1. I wasn't gonna say Power 5 conference, but like D1 college football. I wanted that experience.
Yeah. All right, just curious. So, see, now I took over the lead again. I did want to ask everyone, how are we going to deal with this here in Nevada? Sisolak's like he didn't like lock things down, but he's like, let's do stay at home for 2 weeks, and then we're going to find out from Alex what's going on in California, because I don't know that they said the same thing, but I know they're rolling things back. So, Allie, are you cool right now? Or are you starting to freak out that like outside of essential activities, we got to stay home? That's what Governor Sisolak is saying. I like Sisolak, but that's what all these.
I do too. I don't hate Sisolak, and I know a lot of my friends do, but I mean, I think he's in a really tough position and tough situation, like a lot of, like all the governors are, and he's handling it. I don't think a lockdown is a bad idea. But I wish they would have gone, and maybe I just didn't like watch enough of it, but I wish they would have gone into more detail. Like, are bars going to close again? Or like, is it all essential? Is it how it was before? Are we going back to that? Like,
I think if okay, I'm going to say this one way, but I don't think that this is really us fucking up. I think if we fuck up and we can't stem the tide anymore, then yeah, we're going backwards. Like I started thinking tonight of like what bars I need to go to. I sent a text to McKinnell, who's gone AWOL. And I was like, dude, like the tapas place we meet up at, I didn't say this, but like we're both kind of fat. Like you realize it's going to go away here for a couple months. Like, let's get on this. And he just gave back a tepid response. Like, yeah, sure. We'll look into it. So I don't know where he is, right? He's in a real malaise. So, but yeah, if you got certain restaurants you like and you've been enjoying sitting down, you better go. Seriously, like some serious shit's coming up.
I was all for the lockdown if it worked and we like did it. But when you lock us down and then you open the strip and then you open up Las Vegas bars on Las Vegas Raiders Monday Night Football game, it doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem like the way that should have been done. And I don't mind getting locked down. I just want it to be over. So whatever makes it over faster, do that because I'm over it. I need to do.
Yeah, I think the issue is that 1 foot in, 1 foot out scenario where you lock it down, then you open up, and this puts Vegas in a tough spot, right? Because we talked about this a while ago. Vegas is a tourism industry-based town. Vegas needs that money. You got to save these local businesses, so you open that up. But I guess with Vegas and other places, I mean, Disneyland here in Orange County has been petitioning. They're so pissed they can't open. But I think that you do have to limit super spreader events. And you've got people that are still pushing back on the mask wearing, and you've got governments that will shut you down, but won't give you the money to get through it. So someone in the chat said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, that's true. But if you're going to shut down, there's got to be some kind of a plan, because I'm so frustrated seeing, I'm so frustrated seeing both. I'm so frustrated seeing the spikes in the COVID, and then I'm frustrated seeing local businesses that I know and love close. So it is damned if you do, damned if you don't, but we do need participation.
Well, let me tell you where I'm at right now, because I'm one of the people that fell through the cracks with unemployment. So I can't get it through PUA, even though I'm an independent contractor, but my one little job from UNLV that's my one W-2, my seasonal basketball job that I wouldn't even be working now. So I fell through the cracks, don't get unemployment. Now my kid is at home all day and I'm homeschooling. So since the boyfriend moved out today and yesterday were my first days that I had to go paint a house, which is what I used to do when I was building up to just being on sports talk, stuff all the time. So my kid missed school yesterday and today because I had to take him with me so I could go work to make money because I don't get unemployment, so I've already worked this is my third thing I did today because I did the paint, I did picks and parlays, and now I'm here. So I'm just saying that's the fucked upness of it, like what is really happening? Like what's really, it has to like sort itself out because certain people are falling through the cracks and like we're fucked, so what is the next step? Whatever we got to do, shut it down. I don't care, but we got to like fix it, man.
Yeah.
I did miss out on my 2:00 mark. You're right.
I was wondering if you're going to see that. You had to grind though. You had to grind through it. You had to grind through the 2:00.
I had to work all day. Yeah.
The 2:00 sesh. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Like I would, the government's in a tough spot, but the issue that I see here locally in Southern California, I don't know if Vegas, Nevada has the same thing, is that Orange County is opening up. I went to breakfast and sat inside a diner today, but if I go up to LA, you can't do that at all. And people in Orange County don't really follow the mask order super closely. But if I drive 45 minutes north, everyone's masked up. And I got my friends in LA asking me where they should come out in Orange County to go party. And I get that. It's just, we're not seeing full participation. I'm not saying shut everything down, but like, if we're going to open things up at 25%, let's all follow the mask order. And then here in OC, I'm sure you guys got politicians like this in Nevada. We just elected Tito Ortiz to city council in Huntington Beach, who refuses to believe in COVID and ran on the platform Make Huntington Beach Safe Again, when it's people like him that make Huntington Beach shitty. We got a guy here we just elected in Newport Beach to city council who owns 2 restaurants who keep getting fined for violating COVID. He doesn't let his employees wear masks.
Is that Noah or is that the Italian guy?
Yeah.
That's Noah.
Not the Italian guy that Lisa Guerrero was getting all over. Yeah,
that's Basilico's, the Italian place in Huntington that doesn't serve you if you wear a mask, and they keep getting written up in the paper, but the county won't process. The county won't lay down the law, and in LA places are fully getting shut down. So it's like no shit, we can't get out of this. I don't know exactly what the answers are, but I know the current situation. His name is Noah, and his restaurant is the Ark.
Nice.
So nice. Funny, bro.
When stories like, what is it, Basilicos? When those stories come up, I often think there is no Antifa. Now let me try to make sense of this, right? Because I have my neighbor. Like 4 months ago, she started talking about Antifa, and like since then I've spoken like 4 words to her. Right? I'm like, fuck this. She's crazy. And I wanted to tell, like, there's no fucking Antifa. If there were Antifa and I were running it, like within a week of seeing Basilicos, I would make sure everyone's out of the restaurant, but I would firebomb the place. If you had an organized effort, like I often think of like who they would take out, right? Like there'd be so many people just dead across the country. So there is no Antifa. Because that would be a prime example. Like you're fucking the rest of us, Basilico guy, by not participating. So what I wanted to do tonight, though, is I wanted to ask you guys, and I want to ask the people in the chat room, like, and Alex can ask from the California standpoint, and he's in a weird situation in the OC, but like we're hearing about we have to stay home, right? Because there's a rise. Have you guys seen stuff out and about in the last 2 months where you're like, we're fucked because people are misbehaving? Because I don't see it. Like I go to bars and people are masked up when they're supposed to be masked up. I go to grocery stores. Like I don't see people fighting anymore. I don't see people walking around without the mask on. Like I don't see people making out in the parking lot. I don't see them shaking hands. Like, why is there a rise around the country? Why is there a rise here in Nevada? Why is there a rise specifically in California based on what we've seen? Have you seen anything, Allie? Because I haven't seen it. Like people acting like assholes.
Well, and honestly, no. For the most part, whenever I go anywhere, it's pretty like solid. I don't go a ton of places either, but I did just have friends in town from Portland 2 nights ago, Sunday night. And we went to Pizza Rock downtown, went to the Grand, went to Circa. Man, is Circa pretty. That's a sports book after my own heart. But anyway, people were pretty like on top of it. There was a time I was trying to smoke in a place that someone told me I could smoke in, and like 2 puffs in, and this chick was on me like, nope, go over there, blah, blah, sit there. So, I mean, like walking on Fremont, there's some people with and without masks, but for the most part, I've seen it all like pretty together. It seems pretty okay. I think it's probably out of towners on the Strip. And I know for sure that the Las Vegas Burning Man community, the DJs and the go-go dancers, they've been partying because my DJ friends, my go-go friends, a lot of them have gone through the COVID already. So I stay away.
So that might be part of it, and this is the case around the country. There's been
that's what it is. House parties. Yep.
There's been a lot more get-togethers that we don't see, where people are acting a putz. All right.
Yeah, no, it's the house parties. Halloween weekend, I went to one house party, and he made you. It was my friend's birthday, and he made you come with a negative COVID test, which I thought was awesome. And it was like 20 people. It wasn't huge. I got tested negative, but then I came back. To like my block was having a block party, and in theory people were outside, but no one was masked. And then the drinking continues, and people group off and go into the different houses, and that's 15-ish people going out, like, and no one's masked. And so it's tough. It's just where I'm at. There's a really permissive culture. There's not a lot of mask shaming, and when I go up to LA.
Wait a second. I might have another reason here. Let me bring it up in a second.
Bring it up. No, I want to hear it.
No, keep going. I want you to finish.
I was just gonna say that I don't know. I forgot. I lost my train of thought, Cofield. What were you playing?
Sorry.
Well, I remember what you were saying. Okay.
Help him out.
No, it's not important. It's not important.
Okay. We're curious. Play your thing. Now we want to know.
I was trying to cue it up into the.
No. Oh, I know. I was gonna say. I go to LA and people are wearing masks just to walk on the street to go running. I went running in LA, and I was like, I didn't have my mask on. I was like, oh shit, I gotta put this on. I go running here. Boardwalk at the beach is packed. Like, and I guess people are outside, so it's a little more permissive. But it's like, I would just rather err on the side of mask up. But around here, people think it's like, no, like people have this civil liberties thing with it where they're like, I'm not gonna, but I still sometimes forget to put the mask on because everyone around here doesn't. And so it just kind of, becomes habit, like, oh yeah, oh shit, I better grab my mask. Then I'm in LA and I'm like, oh, mask is on. So there's just a permissive culture that exists here in OC that I'm sure is happening all over the place.
So the chick that I was painting for, hopefully she doesn't watch the show, but as I'm like moving room to room, she comes in and chats with me, and she is a non-masker. And her whole reasoning behind it was it was always 99.9. Did you know that 99.9 of European countries don't wear a mask and they're fine? Did you know that a mask 99.9% of the time does nothing? But that was always the stat on it. And in my head, I'm like, clearly you don't know that I like make a living on statistics, and 99.9 is like how antibacterial bacterial dial is. It's not how COVID works. But I mean, just the lack of information, or like this credible information, or the sources, I think that's a very large problem too. A lot of it's not even just like civil liberties anymore. It's like the mask doesn't do anything. 99.9% of people know that, like, I don't know.
So then do you counter with, well, how is it spreading? Then let's get some answers on this. Cause that's what I don't want to come on every time, whether it's on, this video or on air, and you're getting mad about college football games being canceled, or the NFL, players are getting it, and just be like, fucking mask, man. These people anti-maskers. Like, it can't be all anti-maskers. Like, it just can't be. So then it's got to be parties, or is there more of a spread on the shit we're buying? And, are people, I'll admit it. I'm certainly not washing my hands as much as I was at the beginning of this thing. Like, has something even like that seems little, is that the letdown that's like led to this next explosion where we've got 200,000 positive tests across the U.S.? There's got to be some reasons other than anti-maskers. Like we can't blame just anti-maskers.
Well, I think people aren't taking it serious. They're not even anti-mask. They're just like, you know what? These it's fatigue. We're sick of hearing about it, and I still don't know anybody who's gotten really sick from it, so it can't be that big of a deal.
I do too.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's what people say. I've heard people. No, that's what people say, and then it's just like people. A lot of people around here, like, they just doubt the statistics. They just think they're inflated.
It's a good reminder, everyone. Get their sanitizer. If you don't have sanitizer right next to you on this video, then you're part of the problem, Allie. You're part of the problem, Alex.
It's right there. I'm looking at
I'm sanitizing all the
one
time.
Right there.
I'm fully sannied out. Oh, right? Yeah. Oh, dude, my hands are so dry and cracked.
Yeah, the X got like a huge red, like blistery rash on his hand.
That wasn't from the sanitizer.
Well, now I can think back. No, we were on a road trip. So it was like everywhere we went, it was a different kind of sanitizer in every place. And I keep mine in my purse. So I wasn't doing the little, I'll take your sanitizer. Someone could have peed in that. I don't know. I'm not dealing with that.
Is this, again, I'm going to go back to anti-masking, and I don't like it, but is this one of the reasons, like, do we literally need to be anti-religion? Because in this group, the entire room doesn't have mask on. They're sitting right on top of each other, and a lot of them are old. Like, is this the reason that we've loosened, social gatherings in certain areas? I mean, this video, making the rounds has more to do with this Kenneth Copeland, who's a fucking charlatan. And he was the guy who was like, go away, COVID, I damn you to hell, like blowing away COVID. Now he's talking about the election, and I don't know what he's doing here, but like the more disturbing thing is, as they go around the room, no one has masks on.
The media said Joe Biden's president.
By the way, that has to be strategic. There's one black dude in the room. Like this shot.
Put him on camera. Put him on camera.
It stayed on for an eternity.
I bet you he dies first.
Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't react like DJT did with Kane, with poor Herman Cain. I mean, he did it to himself, but there wasn't much of a recognition of the fact that he gave his life for the cause. Like I also look at that guy and he's like, what the fuck is he? Like, am I supposed to laugh with him? Like, what do I do here? Now he just starts to circle. By the way, his hair, this guy's like 80 years old. What a beautiful head of brown hair.
Let's stand up for it. It's like the Joker when the Joker dies and his little laugh box keeps going off.
What's the lady on the bottom doing? She's like, hallelujah, hallelujah, with the hand.
Praise Jesus, praise the Lord.
See, it's some full cult shit. It's fully cult shit. And I think that so many people have been conditioned from the beginning to not take it seriously. And that's led to anti-maskers. It's led to people insisting that they have to worship in person, even though most churches are making their services available online. That's great. And it's people insisting around here in my neighborhood. There was signs in people's yards that said, Halloween isn't canceled. Trick-or-treaters welcome. And it's like, maybe not this year. And it's people getting super pissed. It's the family gatherings and the secret parties. And it's people getting pissed that, like, Gruesome Newsom says we can't have Thanksgiving together. We're going to have a huge Thanksgiving. And I just think if we nipped all those little things in the bud, we could probably just see us. We just got to chill for a bit. But yeah, that shit with the Copeland is his name. That's fully cult. Like, it's just, it's unbelievable.
To Brady's question, I would be conservative and I'll say that Copeland's net worth, because I've never looked, I'll say he's worth $20 million, but I have a feeling that's like way short of what he's really worth. These guys, I mean, who's the guy in what's his name?
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, Joel Osteen. Who, by the way, I have listened to him on Sirius because he has his own channel, and the more he's brilliant in his delivery, and I can see why people get hooked. But when you actually listen to what he's saying, you're like, this is a ton of malarkey, dude. Like, everything ain't always gonna, turn up sunny. But that's his whole thing. It's just like, it'll work out. It'll work out. And to me, it's that attitude that dangerously seeps into the minds of people with something like this, a pandemic. And it's like, you know what? I can lean on my God. It's just going to work out. Like, COVID doesn't care. Viruses don't care. It's science, brother. But, they're making so much bank.
So I'm from Houston.
Yep.
And Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church is in Houston. And when I went to University of Houston, I was there. It was a big deal. Then I moved to Oregon. Then I came back, and freaking Lakewood Church is the Summit. Do you know what the Summit is? It's where I grew up going to watch the Houston Rockets play basketball. And he sells that thing out. Now, I am not a person that believes in God. I'm not a religious person. I'm not churching. I'm not praying. I'm not doing it. Don't ask me to. So when I realized like the size of this church and the amount of people that are, I am not okay with that. Like, I am not okay with that. There's too many people following one person. I don't like it. It's creepy. And he's weird. And so are his teeth. His wife's kind of cute.
With this Copeland guy, people are saying it's as high as $760 million. Again, I will bring up the point earlier. If there were an Antifa, would they not take him out? Like, how much security can he have?
No,
I don't want to keep bringing up, like, go after these people or be all militant. But I often think, like, if you were part of a group that was organized, there are so many easy targets.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
If Antifa is such a real threat, why is the only time we see or hear them is like sparring in the streets in a handful of U.S. city with the Proud Boys? Like, why is that that's what they're getting all organized to do, and they're a huge threat? Like, why are they not, like, they're bad at their job then? If they, you know what I mean? Like, they're really ineffective, and that's all they do. There's so many. Yeah, once again, not advocating for this, but there are a lot of soft targets for Antifa if they wanted to actually exist.
By the way, this is the craziest part of the might and the money of these televangelists like Copeland. It's a lifetime of not paying taxes. How is this even possible? When most of us know what's going on, they don't pay any taxes. It's insane.
Man, no, it's and yeah, it's fucked up, dude. It's fucked up.
I don't even want to get into it. Never mind.
It's just fucked up because a lot of those people are from the group that is like, everyone has to pay their taxes and illegal immigrants just need to pay their taxes and this and this. But like, but our church, like, imagine if you taxed Copeland and Joel Osteen, like, that help with some stuff.
So if we are locked down, because we got Allie very sad. I think she was going to go on a fucking rant.
I'm trying to mellow. Religion, I don't want to get into religion.
I know.
Yeah. I'll get a lot of haters if I get going on religion. Like, I've got enough already, thanks.
He pays taxes. His organization does not. I'm sure that he's got some accountants to basically zero down his own personal salary. Like, I don't take any money from the church. It's all for God. I would love to see what kind of taxes he pays. With the request by Sisolak, and I'm sure plenty of other governors coming up the next 3 days, it basically means that Thanksgiving will have restrictions on it. The government is basically telling you can't hang around with your family. You can't have a big group getting together. So
well, they've been saying that the whole time, really.
I'm so okay with that.
Now we're going into the holiday season, and it kind of plays to what Trump was saying. He's like, there's not going to be graduations. There's no Thanksgiving. You know what a rallying point that's going to be for people when they're like, you're taking away Thanksgiving for us or from us. We're fucking pissed.
Nobody likes Thanksgiving anyway. All I want from Thanksgiving is turkey and football. Like, that's all. That's the day I do want to watch football.
I don't need 10 people around me to eat the turkey. I can do it with myself and the SO and the cats.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I think it's okay to take some L's in terms of tradition. Like, take a Thanksgiving off.
G! Happy holiday!
Hi, Jim.
Love it.
Skip Thanksgiving. Like, I don't like that people are bummed about that. I think that's such a fake. That's such a fake outrage.
I got a 10-year-old boy who was just fine doing the little neighborhood trunk or treat instead of going door to door. You know, like, you want to take Thanksgiving away from adults, fine, but you already took Halloween away from kids. So suck it, Thanksgiving.
You know
That's
what
how
I'll
I
say?
feel.
I'll say this on the anti-Sisolak or I feel like a lot of governors everywhere are hated, right? So people here are like pissed at Gavin Newsom all the time for every single thing he does. And a lot of it, it's like, man, I think he's trying his best. I'm sure Sisolak's trying his best. And I think it's okay to take the L on Thanksgiving as a society. But I do see things like Gavin Newsom's kids are in private school and they're in school in person. And a lot of public educators or families of kids that are in public school are pissed, saying, why are we putting more of an effort to getting our kids back in school when your kids are in school? And I'm right there with that. Like, you've got to have the skin in the game. So Sisolak and Newsom better not have a fucking Thanksgiving if they're going to tell us not to. That's all I've got to say. Like, you have to not have it too, bro.
My kid, it's all online learning, but there are some kids that their parents are essential or they work all day. So I'll see them on the Zoom and they go to some recreation facility, some place, the library or whatever, where they hold school, and they've always got their little masks on it. And you can see they're just so ticked off of wearing this mask for 8 hours a day. But so I'm wondering, in the private schools, are Gavin Newsom's kids wearing masks while they're there?
Question.
I guess.
It's a good question.
That's how they're doing it here for kids that have to go. So
I feel like we're
but
getting
I'm with you. If we don't get Thanksgiving, they don't either.
Oh, no. They better, you better realize as a politician. I mean, this is serious shit now. Listen, my Thanksgivings are very muted anyway. It's like myself, the SO. We go hang out with our parents and we usually go out, right? Because no one wants to cook a turkey. So I would like to see your parents. They're also 75 plus. I would like not to kill them so we can take off Thanksgiving this year. But for a lot of people, there are people, and I know Razorback Scoop said, can't get together with the family. Sign me up. There are a lot of people who the holidays are really stressful. And they don't exactly love being around their family. That's fine. But for the people who do, because I know I'm a Grinch. I come off as a Grinch, but I am really a super pro Thanksgiving and Christmas person. You'll hear Adam Hill for years. He and I have bickered on the air because he does not like holidays or just happiness. I love the freaking holidays, but you're right. That was a brilliant point by both of you guys. If there are politicians who are like, no Thanksgiving, and then all we get are pictures like, hey, we're wishing you a happy holiday, and there's like 17 people around, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? That's not fair. And there'll be some that'll do it. There'll be dumbasses who will do it, who will talk out of one side of their mouth and then, live another reality. Like, come on.
For sure.
Well, do you remember when Sisolak got spotted on video? He was out to dinner and there's like a small band playing behind him at the restaurant with no mask on. And it was like breaking all, like, you're in public, you have no mask, there's a live band. It was like he broke 6 things in one photograph. So, I mean, it's not like they're not under a ton of scrutiny. Like, you better act right. You better act right now. Especially if you're about to shut it down.
Well, of all guys, he better not.
The live music scandal. Yeah.
I know that you sent a link earlier about the most popular Thanksgiving sides. Can we get into that? Because I just want to say, I don't know if you can screen share and throw this infographic up with the most popular Thanksgiving sides broken down by state. But I will say this before we get into it, is you always see these infographics all the time. Most popular fast food broken down by state. Most popular fetish broken down by state. And sometimes most popular team broken down by state. And sometimes I'm really starting to doubt the truthfulness to them. And I have some questions about this one, if this is accurate, but I do think it generates good discussion. I just wanted to say, I take these with a grain of salt. Okay.
What do you want to hone in on?
I take most of these with like a lot of grains of salt. Just say it.
Yeah. But I do think it I saw the state of Oregon was biscuits. And I personally have never been one to associate biscuits even as a Thanksgiving side. Maybe I'm in the minority there, but biscuits, I just feel like is so low on the power ranking. I have an issue with. I feel like it's just this can't be real. Do you guys are biscuits aside for you?
Well, especially because like in Oregon, so many people grow their own vegetables. I was confused about that too. Like a bread group for Oregon. Like, yeah, I agree on that. Biscuits, I don't think I ever had a biscuit in Oregon, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I had a biscuit in Oregon, but not a notable biscuit for sure.
Right. For Thanksgiving, though?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been rolls. Who has biscuits for Thanksgiving? It's rolls. They're dinner rolls.
I feel like potato. I feel like over the years, mashed potatoes has lost ground. Am I wrong? Because it's a real popular choice on here. Does everyone love mashed potatoes?
I do love mashed potatoes.
I actually think they're overrated. Like, I don't think they're bad. I just think people go crazy for them. And I can think of 3-4 sides that are going to bump up my power ranking list before mashed potatoes.
See, that's my thing. Like, I eat mashed potatoes probably twice a week anyway, you know? So for me as a top Thanksgiving side, now green bean casserole, yes, notice I'm from Texas and that's our number one thing, but green bean casserole, I eat twice a year and it's Thanksgiving and Christmas. So for me, that's my side. I can have freaking mashed potatoes. I'll go through KFC and get some mashed potatoes right now, you know?
What's in the green bean casserole besides the
green? Oh my God. So I like it with canned green beans. My mom wants to be healthy every year and do it with fresh ones. It's not the same, but it's basically green beans, freaking cream of mushroom soup. And then those fried onions, those crispy fried onions go on top. You mix them in and on top.
I feel like if you don't have the contrast of the crispy onions with the slimy beans, it's real trouble.
Yeah,
it's a little too
deal. Yep. That's why I don't like those real ones. Some people put bacon in their green bean casserole. I'm not having all that. I do add like onions and celery for a little crunch. That's it. But it's my shit. I love that.
Again, I have no idea how they collect the information. But I don't like Nevada. Do I have any idea if Nevadans are giant mashed potato fans? I have no idea. I don't know I don't feel like we have anything that we can hold up and go, these are the state food items.
Yeah, because we're too much of a melting pot. No one's from here, everyone's from somewhere else. So it doesn't work that way.
I always thought of you guys as a buffet. I always thought of you guys as like a buffet region. Yeah. And I know that's been hurt with COVID and that sucks.
This is a good suggestion, actually. Where the hell did it just go? Yeah, I mean I'm not a shrimp cocktail person, but it is one of our items. The 99 shrimp cocktail. That is Vegas. That is Nevada.
Is that Indiana holding up deviled eggs over there though? Like I do love a deviled egg, and I would think that would be a Vegas thing because it is like an hors d'oeuvre, an appetizer. It's that amuse-bouche. And that's kind of our, and I noticed that they were like the only oh no, there was one more. I just can't see it. But like deviled eggs are huge.
Deviled eggs.
And what's up with all this mac and cheese, you dingbats? I make mac and cheese once a day for the last 10 years of my life. That is not a Thanksgiving side. That's lunch for your kid.
I'm going to disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it needs to be spread over more of the states. I'm a mac and cheese fan. It's not a traditional item.
Thanksgiving?
Yes. Here's the thing with Thanksgiving. And I saw someone say earlier about the whole turkey thing. And this is a big Adam Hill rule. He hates holidays that have a food item that you don't eat the rest of the year. Like no one cooks, maybe on Christmas, but rarely outside of Thanksgiving will you make a giant fucking turkey. Nor the same thing goes for is everyone rocking corned beef outside of St. Patty's Day?
Rarely.
Well,
Maybe at a delicatessen.
I was going to say I've worked at some delis, and yeah, it's a thing.
You should know that guy with a meat slicer.
I have knowledge of that, no doubt. I have knowledge, but I feel like there is a bit of a pushback with the turkey, especially for people who don't know how to cook them. Like when you go over someone's house and it's just dry and shit. Like you got to know how to cook a turkey, or at that point you got to try alternate methods. You have to risk life and limb and have the hot oil explode in your face by deep frying it. Maybe
we don't do it.
Maybe you smoke it. I might smoke one this year. Or I bought a pressure cooker, one of the new age pressure cookers, and I used it like 3 times. there might be a turkey going in that just to try it, just to get use out of that stupid pressure cooker, as I've got like 14 different little mini cooking tools outside of my garage. I got to start using them.
See, my mom does. I don't like the carcass. I don't eat a ton of meat anyway. So I don't like having that carcass left over because it's a carcass. But my mom does. She'll do like turkey breast, and then she'll put the stuffing. She does her homemade Italian stuffing and puts it in the turkey breast, and then rolls them up and ties them with a kite string, and she bakes all that, and then she douses them in gravy. So it's like a bone. It's not a traditional turkey thing, but it's also not a dead bird on your table. So there's that.
I want to take back what I said about mashed potatoes. I said they were overrated, and I think that people like tonight. My friends and I, we have a group chat, whatever. If someone's eating something good, we'll send pictures. My friend sent a picture of some mashed potatoes he was having tonight. I was like, that doesn't excite me. That doesn't move the needle for me. But then I was just imagining Thanksgiving dinner without mashed potatoes and good gravy, as one of the people in the chat here said, that good gravy. Mm-hmm. And the gravy is really necessary. I need that to run. I need that to cascade off the mashed potatoes and pull up underneath some of the turkey and get into maybe some of the stuffing. And I really need that gravy boat to just sort of marinate the whole plate. So without the mashed potatoes to sort of serve as the vehicle for that gravy, I think it's I don't want to have a Thanksgiving dinner without that. So I do take back what I said.
What's kind of funny is that Idaho, the home of potatoes, they went green bean casserole, but everyone around, you can see where that Idaho potato arm has stretched here across some of the northern and western United States. I bet Idaho is just so freaking over potatoes they can't stand themselves.
What do you think of the comment earlier that Kansas is lame if it really is creamed corn as the favorite side?
Corn.
Creamed corn?
Yeah. Gnarly.
I have creamed corn less than once a year. Like that's not a Thanksgiving side. I like the cranberries. Well, I like the band of the Cranberries, but I like them as a Thanksgiving side. That's a big one for me. Deviled eggs, cream corn doesn't make my plate usually, or my meal.
And like, how often do you eat? Like, again, I eat corn often. Like, I eat mashed potatoes often. So, yeah.
I gotta disagree strongly with listener John Carvelli. I'm a big yams guy. I'm a really big yams guy.
We're out.
Okay.
What is it about yams? What is it about yams you like so much?
Very mushy.
Sell me.
Mushy. Yeah.
Oh, candy them. You got to candy that shit. Get it sweet. Get it crispy and crystallized sweet on the edges. And you've got the savory mashed potatoes in the gravy, and then you got the candied yams, and you've got a sweet and savory thing going on. And I think the issue with turkey that you brought up earlier, Cofield, very real, because a lot of people fuck up the turkey. But if you get the good turkey and you're able to use that once again, it's all about the plate. These things, they are taken together. It's hard to separate them out because it's the plate. It's how you plate it. It's what you have together. And the turkey is important, but people fuck up the turkey, and I get that.
Well, maybe what do you go back for seconds for that? Well, I guess all of it too, huh? I kind of answer my own question.
I like to just load it. I don't like just mash it all together, but I like when my borders kind of run together. You know what I mean?
I like my cranberry to touch my stuffing and touch my turkey. Like, I like that flavor profile of cranberry turkey, cranberry stuffing.
Tear down the wall. Tear down the walls, breach all dams, and bust through all borders,
I'm with it.
I'm hungry now too. I've gotten so hungry.
I know. I kind of have to pee. I'm starving right now.
This is like food erotica. This is getting me hungry.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll battle Petro tomorrow if he's going to back Kansas with this cream corn bullshit. And then someone did point out, I'm about this. If I could only have brown gravy, we've talked about sides before. I think we just did like. It was more like garnishes. Like
gravy is not a side.
Yes, it is. I will fucking drink brown gravy.
I will, but it's not a side. Then it's just a beverage. Eggnog's not on here for crying out loud. It's not a side.
Decide.
It's an accessory to all of your sides because it
It makes
goes on your
everything
turkey and your stuffing and your potatoes and all your shit.
So
Cameron.
I've got a question.
By the way, Cameron is trying to switch back to our strip club convo. Which strip club do you see yourself meeting in? No more strip clubs tonight. Come on, guys.
Allie
Alex?
and I can talk Portland strip clubs sometime. I think we already have,
All
but
day.
we can always go back to that. I
Oh,
was just
Mary.
going to say,
Wait, hold on a second. First of all, I want to know what a hash brown casserole is. That's intriguing.
I know, Alaska, right? That was fun.
By the way,
That blew
second
my
state,
mind.
second state chimes in with just gravy as a side. Hawaii turkey gravy.
that one's
But-
interesting to me. I didn't know Hawaiians loved turkey gravy.
I could
But-
see it.
This
How many cows can you fit in Hawaii? I could see it.
this is absurdity. A side salad
salad?
on Thanksgiving is your top side main.
Fuck Maine, bro.
That's
Yeah. What do you guys feel on the cranberry sauce? Like one of our commenters says he likes to see the ridges. I'm that girl. Like I want it out of the can with the bump so I know where to cut it. Or do you guys want to go like with the actual cranberries sauce?
I grew up. My this is the one thing my father made was he would be like, I'll go get the cranberry sauce, and then you just watch him like trying to like get that cranberry sauce out of the can, just shaking it.
It's
Like-
the best sound ever.
Good job, Dad. Thanks for making it right out of the. You kept the ridges.
I was
Gross.
spoiled. My mom always did the fresh cranberries growing
Wow.
up.
It's the
We were in
OC.
California.
There.
Yeah, exactly. We both call them out. Well, that's
I'll admit
California
that.
for
I'll
you.
admit that. I haven't had the ridge stuff too often. I do like it though. I do like the ridged, and I think I agree. I think cranberry is so important because cranberry is so necessary for the next day. Because you need cranberry for the sandwich. You need cranberry for the leftover sandwich. I think it's so important for that. So you need cranberry for the next day, and you need the rolls. You got to be thinking a 2 or 3 day window here.
You guys have
Oh no.
She freezing?
It's always a moment of the night. The internet starts to bog.
do you guys have Capriati's, man?
Oh my god, that is
Cap-
awesome. It just came in.
Capriati's makes this sandwich called the Bobby. And it's just that. It's like
Oh my god, she sounds so drunk, all slowed down. The Bobby.
hot damn.
And she's not coming out of it. That's the best part.
Allie, come back.
Am I back?
You're not. You're still slow. You might have to leave the room. That was great. I had a Bobby last week, actually. The SO and I stopped off and had a Bobby. So it's a delicious sandwich, my friend. Alex,
Shit.
it's delicious. It is a full Thanksgiving meal in a sub roll. It's beautiful.
I'm
Maybe
so
that's
hungry now.
maybe that's the solution to all this is don't even bother making any of the items. Just put them all, in, get the Bobby, get like 10 Bobbies, and you're good to go. Someone said she sounded like Manfred after the World Series.
I just want to ask this. I just wanted to put put a pin in this and answer. Have you guys ever done ham for Thanksgiving? Have you guys ever done ham for Thanksgiving?
Of course, yes. Yes.
Okay, because I'm
We're-
always
we-
turkey.
Our family digs on swine, so we try to when I would see my family, they're big ham people.
You grew up in a family where you had multiple deli slicers in the home.
Makes it that much easier, but I don't think we ever sliced any of the holiday meats on the slicer, but I know we always had a quality, at least one or two quality, the electric knives. So I've got one of those. The other day what was I cutting up? I made a pork loin. I was cutting that shit up. It was good.
Yeah, I'm doing a non-traditional Thanksgiving this year. And I'm going down to Arizona with this youth football team that I've been doing filming stuff for. And I'm just gonna do it with the youth football families, but we're picking up a ham and they're all cooking. So I'm not really following the governor's orders, but I am ditching my family. So
You're trying.
yeah, I'm doing half of it. But I think I'm actually gonna be with more people than if I stayed home. But it's fine. It's fine.
You're trying.
Where'd Allie go?
I don't know. It's sad.
Can we? I just wanted to wrap up too when we were talking about the shutdowns.
Yeah,
and I feel like we didn't wrap that up. Like I feel like we didn't get anywhere with it other than that we're frustrated and we need more involvement. But I think they're coming. And I don't know what.
What's the most difficult thing you'll have to deal with? Because my answer is really easy.
What's yours?
I've settled into a nice groove of going out and watching football games. On Saturday, I don't need to go out, but Sunday, that morning thing with the 8 games. I mean, it's tough to have a home setup where you can watch all the games. I have a couple of good bars that are great. They're usually pretty empty. I'm not going to ever mention it to the owner, but I'm still unsure of why the owner even gets the package because I don't think he makes the money back or she makes the money back. I acted like I had a relationship with him. If I had an imaginary relationship, or this isn't imaginary, if I had a real relationship with the owner, I would tell him you're wasting your money. But I appreciate it for now. So my long but short answer is, Sunday NFL is going to hurt to not be able to go out and just get breakfast for us because obviously you're in California, so you understand games start early. But that's what I'll miss. But I can do. Can I deal with it for the rest of the season? Sure. The other thing is, will there be the rest of the season? I'm not sure anymore. So maybe I won't have to worry because there won't be NFL games in 3 or 4 weeks.
That was going to be my answer. Is I am worried about the rest of the Pac-12 season. I'm worried about the rest of NFL, college football, cancellations. And the main thing I'm worried about in that realm, and if there's another shutdown, is high school sports coming back in California. I'm very, very concerned about the possibility of that. And that's like my main gig when there are sports is doing play-by-play announcing and for one of the local high schools here. And if that doesn't happen, like I'll be fine. I'll figure something out financially. I've got other side gigs, but that's just going to suck because it's just going to suck. Like I'm really worried about that. We keep waiting. And I'm just worried they're going to pull the rug out right when it's time to bring them back.
Well, I wondered if that's why Utah spiked, because I know a lot of people in Vegas were driving to Utah. So their kids, like the people with kids that are athletic, going to go somewhere someday, kids, they're driving to Utah to do these tournaments and whatnot. And I wonder if that had a reason or was part of the reason anyway, why Utah spiked the way that they did.
Well, I think that ties into one of Cofield's questions that he brought up earlier. Did Halloween ruin November college football?
I think it's part of it. I think there were a lot of Halloween parties and a lot of kids, and hey, listen, they're college kids. A lot of them got together, weren't masked up, and now you're starting to see the effects, especially in the South, where you've got a lot of people who don't believe that COVID's real and haven't been the best with masking. Yeah, I mean, I know we had a guy on last week who played college football at Oregon, so maybe he just hates the SEC. He's a Southern California guy and played for the Jaguars. George Reister.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
George Reister, he's on Fox Sports Radio. He's very solid, and he made a point on our show and also on the podcast. He does. He's like, I'm telling you, you can point back to Halloween because look now, now we've got the incubation period, and all of a sudden, the weekend of the 7th, the weekend of the 14th is getting fucked up. It goes back to Halloween. That we did have cameras all over the country tracking kids, but maybe a lot of people went to Halloween parties.
100%. I'm 100% with that. I think we had the Halloween spike. I think, Allie, what you said, I even knew people here locally from Orange County that moved their kids out to Utah. I mean, because they're Orange County and they're crazy and they've got money. They moved their kids out to Utah.
There's a lot of irony there.
Oh, no.
They moved their kids out to Utah to compete in the high school football season, and Utah's going crazy. They're talking about a stay-at-home order. I think it's all that stuff now coming back to haunt us for sure.
It's very frustrating when your stream's not working. You okay, Allie? Look at her.
I think the X took the internet. I think the X took the internet too.
The video's at one speed. Her voice is at another. She's afraid to speak now. She just It's coming. Hold on. Nope. No, she's not there. She's making funny faces. All right. She can hear us, I think. Now she's just laughing, and now she's like, fuck this, I'm out. This is a good comment about the red zone.
I
love the red zone so much. It's almost as good as a stripper twerking in my face. Would you, if if your local strip club had the red zone and a stripper came up and they were twerking in your face, would you tell her to move?
That depends.
Like we have 6 of the 8 games in the early morning slate are going down to the wire, and the red zone's going 100 miles an hour going from game to game, and some dancer's like, hey, it's time to twerk. I'm going to put my ass in your face.
Yeah, because which one's more time sensitive?
15. Come on, the games are going to finish. 15 minutes. Move.
I'm with 100% because I think the stripper will come back. You can buy the stripper back. Another stripper will come. But those games, that's a finite window, especially if I've got money on the games, especially if I've got fantasy football involved in the games. The stripper will come back, but the games cannot.
It's funny. Big Chi makes like about 85 comments. I put up one, and I'll put up this one. Oh, nope. This is the good one. Is Allie's ex-boyfriend causing the Allie problems? I guess he meant internet problems. So he botched the freaking line, but look, I still don't think it's working for her. This is I think her boyfriend is fucking with her internet. She knows this is the road to stardom. Our late night pod.
She was talking about being frozen because she was so cold, but now she's frozen digitally as well.
This is dynamite. She just keeps going and out. All right.
Pay her.
Yeah. I actually think we'll wrap it tonight because we got some topics for down the road. And Alex, I'll buzz you. Maybe there's a day later in the week we could use your brilliance. Maybe.
What does that mean?
We might need some help. Plus, I don't think you got to all your topics tonight. So
I never do, Steve. Yeah. I never do.
Reboot, Allie. Reboot. All right. Who's Oregon State playing this week?
UW, baby. We're 13-point dogs right now. I'll say this. I was so disappointed. I bet big on the Beavs. I put all my eggs emotionally in the Beavs basket. And am just so... I do this every fucking year, dude. Like, imagine, Cofield, if Rutgers football defines your happiness. Like, I know if they do good, I feel like you're able to accept that they're a bad program. I still think Oregon State could contend. I somehow trick myself into that every year. So I'm not doing too hot, but they do play UW. They play the Huskies Saturday, 8 p.m. kick on FS1, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, I'm fired up. Rutgers plays Illinois. Illinois is not good. Rutgers is not good. Believe it or not, Illinois is actually catching 6.5 from Rutgers. It's the first time the Scarlet Knights have been favored in a Big Ten game since 2015.
Should I bet on since 2015?
Yeah, dude, they went into this. They hired an asshole as the coach, man, and he was terrible.
Oh no, I can relate to that. We had the Gary. Coach.
Yeah, you saw Gary Anderson now, and you saw what happened to him. Now you saw what happened to him at Utah State. He stinks. And that kind of stuff can, if they're around long enough, they can take on a program for like 4 years. Especially when you're in the Power 5. Like, there's no recovery time. Like, hey, we'll bounce back in 2 years. Like, no, everyone else is a freaking bitch to play.
Well, especially with a program like a Rutgers or an Oregon State, you don't have that margin for error with a bad coach.
No. Like, you have a couple of bad classes, it kills you. You don't recruit enough offensive linemen back-to-back classes, then you can't move the goddamn ball for years.
It kills you for I think it kills you for over half the decade. Just if not anybody, but a school like a Rutgers or Oregon State or an Illinois, I think any of those lower half of the conference schools just can get so fucked by a really bad hire.
All right, James, thank you. And it's funny about, what was it, like 2 months ago, people are like, I hope you keep doing this 5 days a week. This might be our only job, believe me. If we get shut down for like the back end of November and December, it's going to be a really interesting time. So we're here to be a pick-me-up.